Good day to each and everyone. We are the Group 5. I am Nor Ayesha Micaela S. Abulais, and for this video, me and my group mates will discuss our assigned report, which is the adolescence. So what is adolescence? The term adolescence nanggaling siya sa Latin word na adolescere, meaning to grow or to grow to maturity. In earlier times and in some primitive societies, ang puberty and adolescence, hindi sila separate stages. A child, makukonsider na siya na adult once na di could reproduce. But today, the term adolescence has a broader meaning. It includes mental, emotional, and social maturity as well as physical maturity. According nga kay Jean Piaget, a Swiss psychologist known for his work on child development, he explained na adolescence is when a person becomes part of adult society. Ito yung age na nafe-feel na ng isang bata na hindi siya below the level ng nakakatanda, but equal to adults in terms of rights. Ang adolescence, it involves not just physical changes, but also important intellectual ones, helping teenagers integrate adult relationships. That was said by Piaget. Now, let's dig deeper pa para mas lalo natin maintindihan ang adolescence. So, the adolescent years. Adolescence usually starts kapag ang child becomes sexually mature and ends kapag na-reach na nila yung age of legal maturity. But studies show that changes in behavior, attitude, and values are faster in early adolescence compared to later. So because of these studies, adolescence is often divided into two stages: early adolescence and late adolescence. The dividing line between early and late adolescence is placed around age 17. Ito yung age na most teens enter their senior year of high school. Kapag adolescents become seniors at school, nakikita sila ng parents and teachers nila as almost adults, preparing for college, work, or vocational training. Yung status nila as a senior at school makes them conscious of their responsibilities. Awareness of this new and formally recognized status both at home and in school, pinupush niya or minomotivate niya yung many adolescents to act more maturely. Mas nauunang mag-mature ang girls kaysa sa boys. So boys, their early adolescence is shorter. Although both boys and girls are considered adults at 18, boys may seem less mature at times. However, as they take on more responsibilities at home and school, boys usually show more maturity quickly. Early adolescence covers ages 13 to 16 or 17, while late adolescence ends around 18. So that makes late adolescence a very short phase of a child. Early adolescence is often called the teens or sometimes terrible teens. Even though teens remain teenagers until 20, older adolescents are usually called young men or young women, reflecting sa maturity na in-expect sa kanila ng society at that age. We have here the characteristics of adolescence. Like every stage of life, adolescence has its own unique characteristics that make it different from earlier and later periods. The first one is adolescence is an important stage. All stages of life naman are important, but yung iba are more significant because of their immediate and long-term effects sa behavior and attitudes. Like adolescence. Adolescent stage, nagsastand out siya because it has both short-term and long-term impact sa atin. This stage affect both physical and physiological growth. Physically, adolescence is one of the most eventful times of life. Maraming nangyayari sa stage ng adolescence. Tanner points out that the years between 12 and 16 years old are especially important kasi it concerned the growth and development of the child. While rapid growth happens earlier in life, like during infancy, adolescence is different kasi sa time na ito, young people or teens are more aware sa mga changes na nangyayari sa kanila in their bodies and minds. Kumbaga, aware sila sa mga changes na nangyayari sa sarili nila, said by Tanner. Along with these physical changes, mabilis din dito yung development sa mental ng bata. These changes lead to the need for mental adjustments and the creation of new attitudes, values, and interests. This is why adolescence is an important period to the young ones. The second one is adolescence is a transitional period. The transition doesn't mean completely changing or breaking away from the past, but rather moving from one stage of development to another. In adolescence, moving from childhood to adulthood means kailangan mo i-let go of some childish behaviors of yours and learn new pattern of behaviors and attitudes, but the past still influences the present and future acts natin. As Osterried explains, many traits seen in adolescence actually have roots in childhood. We need to understand na kung ano ang na-experience ng isang tao nung bata siya, naapektuhan nito how they behave and think as an adolescent. The physical changes then na nangyayari during early adolescence affects how the young ones see themselves and their values. During this transition, the adolescents' rule is unclear. Hindi pa clear kung anong rule nila sa society. Hindi naman sila bata nor hindi naman sila fully adults. If they act like children, they are told to grow up. Tapos, if they act like adults naman, sinasabihan naman sila na trying too hard. However, this unclear status, meron din naman itong benefits. Adolescents get the chance na mag-explore ng different lifestyles and figure out which behavior, values, and attitude fit them best. The third one is adolescence is a period of change. Changes in attitudes and behavior during adolescence happen at the same pace as physical changes. Kapag mabilis ang physical changes in early adolescence, the attitudes and behaviors of the young ones mabilis din mag-change. Same din kapag mabagal ang changes. So magkadikit talaga sila. We have here, there are 5 common changes that happen during adolescence. Ang una is heightened emotionality. This happen especially in early adolescence due to rapid physical and physiological changes. Ito na yung we get upset more easily, we get easily dramatic, tsaka we sometimes feel overwhelmed by our emotions, especially when things don't go as we expected. Kumbaga, more intense than normal yung emotions natin. The second one is uncertainty. As they go through physical changes and sexual maturity, minsan, they feel unsure about themselves, their capabilities, and they start questioning their interests na dati na nilang ginagawa. This uncertainty is made worse by unclear treatment from adults. The third one, changes in their bodies, their interests, and in the rules the social group expect them to play create new problems. Itong changes na to can feel overwhelming and difficult to solve. Kapag hindi nila ito na-solve, yung mga adolescent, hanggang satisfied sila, they focus a lot on these issues until they figure them out. Fourth, as interest and behavior patterns change, so do values. Kung anong meron sa kanila nung bata pa sila, they might feel na less important yun now that they are near adults. For example, they start to value quality friendship friendships over the number of friends, seeing respect and admiration as more important than popularity. Panglima, the last one, these teens want independence but nag-aalala sila sa responsibility that come along with being independent. They may doubt their ability to handle these new challenges. So that are the 5 common changes that happen during adolescence. So characteristic of adolescence, the fourth one is adolescence is a problem age. While every age has its problems, those of adolescents are often especially difficult for boys and girls to cope up with. There are 2 reasons for this. First, throughout childhood, ang problema nila were met and solved with the guidance and help ng mga magulang nila and teachers. Because of this, many adolescents lack experience in dealing sa own problems nila because nasanay sila na may tumutulong. Second, because adolescents want to feel that they are independent, ini-insist nila na sila na yung mag-handle sa problema nila. They reject the help from parents and teachers. Since hindi sila capable na mag-solve sa kanilang problema as they believe na kaya raw nila. Many adolescents find that their solutions don't meet their expectations. As Anna Freud explained, many failures during adolescence don't come from a lack of ability, but from the fact that teens are already focused on dealing with the challenges of physical and sexual growth during this period. The fifth one is adolescence is a term of search for identity. In late childhood, fitting in with the group is more important than standing out. Older children want to be like their friends in how they dress, talk, and behave. Kapag may nakita silang differences, they feel like they don't belong sa circle of friends na yan. As teens enter early adolescence, they still care about fitting in naman, but they also begin to search for their own identity. Hindi na nila gusto na maging kagaya nila yung mga friends nila. Dito na papasok yung identity crisis as explained by Erik Erikson. Adolescents start to ask themselves important questions kagaya ng who am I? What will my role in society be? Am I still a child or am I becoming an adult? Yan yung identity crisis, mga ganun na questions. Erikson has further explained how this search for identity affects the adolescent's behavior. During adolescence, teens are searching for a stable sense of who they are. This is what Erikson calls ego identity. It means figure out nila what makes them unique and where they fit in the world. In this search for identity, binabalikan nila yung old issues or challenges they faced as children. But now, they may create new conflicts even with people who are trying to help, like their parents and teachers. Parang nafe-feel nila na obstacles ba sila para sa pagiging independent nila. One way teens try to express their individuality is by using status symbols like mga kotse, damit, or other visible possessions. These This allows them to stand out as individuals while still remaining their connection to their peer group. Pang-anim, adolescence is a dreaded age. Many people have negative beliefs about teenagers. As Maheres points out, teens are often seen as messy, unreliable, and prone to bad behavior. Itong mga negative stereotype na ito, it causes adults, kagaya ng parents and teachers, to try dealing with adolescents. The adults become anxious or reluctant to manage or interact with adolescents because of these negative beliefs or stereotypes about them. As a result, they may treat teens unsympathetically even when they are behaving normally for their age. Parang kinokorap na ng negative stereotypes yung pag-iisip nila about adolescents. Itong stereotypes din na ito, naapektuhan niya how teens see themselves. When society has a negative image of teens, such as viewing them as troublesome or irresponsible, teens may start to accept na parte talaga yun ng identity nila. Magsisimula na silang maniwala na itong mga negative stereotypes is nagre-reflect kung ano talaga sila. Kapag naiisip ng teens ang poor opinions ng mga adults sa kanila, it makes growing up harder. Nagkukos ito ng barrier at away with parents, and it makes it difficult sa teens na humingi ng tulong sa mga magulang nila kapag naharap na sila sa problema because of these negative stereotypes. Pangpito, adolescence is a time of unrealism. During adolescence, teens often have an unrealistic view of life. They often see themselves and others in a perfect way, imagining how they wish things were instead of how they really are. This is especially true when it comes to their goals and aspirations. Hindi lang sa sarili nila binibigay yung unrealistic expectations. Even to their families and friends, grabe din yung unrealistic expectations nila. They can become very emotional kapag hindi nangyari yung gusto nilang mangyari. They may feel angry, hurt, or disappointed when they think others have let them down because of that unrealistic expectations. But with increased personal and social experiences, they start to think rationally. Older adolescents see themselves, their families, and friends, and especially life in general, in a more realistic way. As a result, older adolescents tend to be happier because they are less likely to feel disappointed and delusioned compared to when they were younger. Na hindi lahat ganun. Na they need to think realistic. As they approach adulthood, many teens romanticize their carefree adolescent years. They often think that their teenage years are happier than what will come in the future when they have to take on adult responsibilities, which is true naman. This can make them feel like they are giving up something special and fun as they become adults. Pangwalo, the last one, adolescence is the threshold of adulthood. As teenagers get closer to becoming adults, they want to move away from the typical teenage stereotype. Nagtutry na sila to dress and act like an adult to show na they are really growing up. However, they soon realize that just dressing like adult isn't enough. Iniisip nila na to really feel or call yourself as an adult, you need to do more kung ano talaga yung ginagawa ng isang real adult. They often start doing things associated with being grown up, such as smoking, drinking, using drugs, and having sex. They think that by doing these things, they can create the image they want. So that is the 8 characteristics of adolescence. The developmental task of adolescence. The developmental tasks of adolescents focus on overcoming childish behaviors and preparing for adulthood. This task involves a lot of changes in attitudes and behaviors, and most adolescents, especially late maturers, only lay the groundwork for these changes during early adolescence. Adolescents often struggle to accept their bodies, especially kapag may unrealistic ideas or expectations sila on how they should look. It will take a lot of time to adjust and improve their appearance to meet these ideals. Usually, boys find it easier to accept adult male rules since they are encouraged from a young age, while girls may face challenges in learning and accepting traditional female roles, requiring years of adjustment. After experiencing conflict with the opposite sex during childhood, adolescents, kailangan nilang matuto paano mag-build ng new mature relationships with both genders. While teens, gusto nila yung independent life, emotional independence can be difficult. Kasi, maraming nagre-rely pa rin on their parents for emotional support, especially kapag they feel insecure in their peer groups. To achieve economic independence naman, they cannot achieve it if wala silang trabaho. Teens need to choose a career and prepare for it, but long training periods can prolong financial dependence even after reaching adulthood. And schools, they aim to teach intellectual skills necessary for adult life, but not all adolescents can apply these skills in real-life situations. Kagaya na lang ng mga students na involved in extracurricular activities, they gain valuable experience while others may miss out due to work or peer rejection. Adolescents often face conflicts between adult values and peer values. Kasi gusto nila, they wanted to fit in or to be accepted by their peers, leading them to choose peer values, and syempre, nababangga nila yung adult values while seeking acceptance from peers. Minsan, may ginagawa sila just to be accepted by their friends, tapos sa mata ng mga adults, they think na what they are doing is irresponsible, kaya nagka-clash. With the trend of early marriages, preparation for marriage becomes crucial, but there is often a lack of guidance for the responsibilities of married life, which can lead to challenges in adulthood. Physical changes during adolescence. Growth does not stop when puberty ends, nor it is complete at the end of early adolescence. However, the pace of growth slows down, and there is more internal development than external. This internal growth is not as easy to see or measure as changes in height, weight, or secondary sexual characteristics. Now, we have here the body changes during adolescence, the external changes, and the internal changes. The external changes, ito yung outside na nakikita natin. The first one is height. The average girl reaches her mature height between the ages of 17 and 18, and the average boy a year or so later. Yung boys and girls who were immunized or yung nabakubnahan ba during babyhood are usually taller age for age than those na hindi na-immunize due to fewer illnesses affecting their growth. That is why, bata pa lang tayo, it is very important na mabakunahan tayo. The second one is weight. Weight changes follow a similar pattern sa height kasi the fat nadidistribute sila evenly across the body. Third one is body proportions. The various parts of the body gradually come into proportion. Example nito yung the trunk widening and lengthening so that limbs appear balanced. Sex organs. Both male and female sex organs reach their mature mature size in late adolescence. Pero, hindi pa sila mature enough in function until several years later. The last one is secondary sex characteristics. The major secondary sex characteristics are at a mature level of development by late adolescence. Yung secondary sex characteristics are physical traits that develop during puberty but are not directly related to the reproductive organs. Example ng secondary sex characteristics is yung halimbawa nito yung paglaki ng breast and widened hips of females, facial hair at saka Adam's apples on males, and lastly, isa pang example nito is yung pubic hair sa both girls and boys. Internal changes naman tayo. These are the ones that we cannot see. First one is the digestive system. The stomach becomes longer and less tubular. The intestines grow in length and circumference. The muscles in the stomach and intestinal walls, kumakapal sila and lumalakas. And our liver increases in weight and the esophagus becomes longer. Second one is the circulatory system. Mabilis ang pag-grow ng heart natin during adolescence. By the age of 17 or 18, it is 12 times as heavy as it was at birth. Ang haba at kapal ng walls of the blood vessels increase and reach a mature level when the heart does. That is why adolescence is very important. Respiratory system. The lung capacity of girls is almost at a mature level at age 17. While sa boys, they will reach this level several years later. Palaging late yung mga boys. The endocrine system. The increased activity of the gonads at puberty results in a temporary imbalance of the whole endocrine system in early adolescence. The sex glands develop rapidly and become functional, though they do not reach their mature size until late adolescence or early adulthood. And the last one is body tissues. Ang skeleton, nagsastop siya to grow at an average age of 18. Tissues other than bone continue to develop after the bones have reached their mature size. This is especially true of muscle tissues. So that is why we can clearly see why adolescence is very important. Dito na yung nagsa-start yung mga development. Variations in physical changes. As is true, at all ages, there are individual differences in physical changes. Sex differences are especially apparent. Girls typically start their growth spurt earlier than boys. Pero, ang boys kasi, they continue to grow for a longer time. As a result, most adult men end up being taller than women. Boys also develop larger muscles, which means mas malakas sila than girls after puberty. And this strength difference increases as they age. Individual differences can be affected by when a person matures. People who grow up slower or yung mga late maturers, meron silang wider shoulders. For both boys and girls who grow up faster naman or yung mga early maturers naman, their legs might be shorter and thicker. In contrast, yung late maturers usually have a longer and slimmer legs. In girls, those who mature early usually they weigh more and are mas matangkad sila. And they often have a higher weight for their height than girls na late maturers, than girls who mature slowly. Effects of physical changes. As adolescents grow and their physical changes slow down, the awkwardness they experience during puberty and early adolescence usually fades away. This is because older adolescents nagkaroon sila ng time to adjust to their larger bodies and are motivated to use their newfound strength, which helps them overcome any awkwardness that appeared earlier. Yung boys, nakikita or nararamdaman nila yung pag-increase ng strength nila after the age of 14, while girls improve in strength until around that age, but they often change their interests, which can affect how active they are. Generally, girls reach their peak strength as sa age na 17, while boys usually reach their maximum strength around 21 or 22. Concerns about physical changes. Few adolescents experience body cathexis or satisfaction with their bodies, but many adolescents struggle with feeling satisfied about their bodies, which can lead to low self-esteem and negative self-image. Itong dissatisfaction often nagmumula from comparing themselves sa societal standards of beauty and what is considered normal for their gender. Kung anong sinasabi ng society regarding sa physical na anyo dapat daw ng isang tao, yun yung nagiging expectation nila sa sarili nila na dapat ganito yung katawan ko, ang skin ko dapat ganito. For example, concerns about how their bodies look and whether they meet cultural expectations can cause them anxiety. Boys and girls often worry about their physical appearance, especially when they have features that don't fit the ideal body types. Especially sa girls, in particular, may face additional challenges related to menstruation. This is because they suffer physical discomforts such as cramps, weight gain, headaches, backaches, swollen ankles, and breast tenderness, and experience emotional changes such as mood swings, depressions, restlessness, and a tendency to cry without apparent reason. This concern is heightened by the stigma around menstruation and the perception that boys don't face similar issues. So, acne and other skin eruptions is another common issue na both boys and girls worry about, as it can affect their confidence and social interactions. Additionally, many adolescents are conscious of weight and may feel pressure to control their eating habits to avoid being seen as overweight. Adolescents, very aware sila of how physical attractiveness impacts their social relationships and status. They often wish na sana mag-improve pa ang looks nila, leading sa pagkaabala sa appearance that can overshadow o natatakpan ng problema na yun yung other qualities nila. This focus on physical appearance is common during these years and can significantly influence their self-esteem and social interactions, as they know how the world works right now, which is definitely very sad when you think about it, because human beings are all unique and pretty. Emotionality during adolescence. Traditionally, adolescents have been seen as a time of storm and stress, filled with emotional ups and downs due to physical changes. While growth continues in early adolescence, it happens at a slower rate. The emotional tension na we often see sa adolescents is more related to social pressures, hindi lang sa physical changes. Adolescents face new conditions and expectations for which they receive little, if any, preparation during childhood. Wala silang preparation. Most of them do experience emotional instability from time to time, which is okay lang naman. Kasi it's like consequences of the necessity of making adjustments to new patterns of behavior and to new social expectations. For example, problems related to romance are very real at this time. For instance, when their romance is going well, they feel happy, but they may feel sad when problems arise. Additionally, as they approach the end of their schooling, they often worry about their future, which is, it's okay. It's okay to worry about that one. Although adolescent emotions can be intense and seem irrational, nag-i-improve naman sila. Nag-i-improve naman over time ang emotional behavior nila. Research shows that 14 years old may be irritable and emotional, while by age 16, they tend to worry less and handle their feelings better. This shows na meron talagang improvement, may development sa adolescent stage. This shows that the emotional challenges of adolescents lessen as they grow older. Emotional patterns in adolescence. While adolescent emotions are similar to those in childhood, but the stimuli or yung things that triggers them and how they are expressed are different right now na sa adolescent stage. For example, being treated like a child or unfairly can easily make adolescents angry kasi they want to be treated like an adult. Instead of having temper tantrums like yung mga bata, like young children, in-express ng adolescents yung anger nila by sulking, refusing to talk, or criticizing those who upset them. Nakaka-feel din sila ng inggit sa iba who have more material things. Rather than complaining like a child, they might get a part-time job para mabili yung gusto nila, or in some cases, even leave school to pursue these positions. Adolescents handle emotions in more complex ways than they did as children. Emotional maturity. Boys and girls are said to have achieved emotional maturity if by the end of adolescence. They are said to reach emotional maturity kapag hindi na sila nagbo-blow up emotionally in front of others. Instead, they wait for a more appropriate time and place para ilabas yung emotions nila in a socially acceptable way. Another sign of emotional maturity is when they assess situations carefully before reacting, rather than responding impulsively like children. As they mature, they also become more stable emotionally kasi kaya na nilang iwasan ang mga stimuli, yung mga nagtitrigger sa kanila with fewer mood swings compared nung bata pa sila. To achieve emotional maturity, adolescents need to gain perspective on situations that might otherwise cause emotional reactions. Magagawa nila ito by discussing their problems with others, depending on how secure they feel in their relationship sa tao na yon and how much they trust the person they confide in. Another important part of emotional maturity is learning how to release built-up emotional energy through healthy outlets like physical activity, exercise. Kaya mong mailabas ang emotion mo, yung mga pent-up emotion mo, laughing or even crying. While society may not always approve of crying or laughing openly, using these outlets helps adolescents manage their emotions better. And that's all po for my part. Thank you for listening and have a nice day. Thank you very much.
So, good morning everyone. I am Arabella S. Salvano, and for today, I will be discussing the social changes during adolescence. Since adolescence is divided into two subdivisions, which is the early and late adolescence, their age ranges from 13 to 18 years old, which is the age of legal maturity. Dito na nararanasan ng mga adolescents ang pagbabago sa kanilang social aspects. The social changes during adolescence is one of the most difficult developmental tasks of adolescence since dito nagkakaroon ng mga adjustments. During adolescence kasi, maraming pagbabago ang nag-undergo o nangyayari sa atin, lalong-lalo na sa pakikibagay o sa pakikipagsalimuha natin with the same peers or in an environment. Adolescents must learn to interact with their peers of the opposite sex na bago sa kanila because interacting with them can form their personal and social identity. Kabilang na dito ang pagkakaroon ng malalimang pangunawa sa kanilang sarili. This is also another way para maging handa ang mga adolescents to step up to the world of adulthood. Now, to achieve the goals of adult patterns of socialization, the adolescents must make many adjustments. That's why we have here the most important and difficult social changes. Una dito yung increased peer group influence. Ano nga ba yung peer group? They are typically formed based on their shared interests, values, and social status. So dahil nga sa pakikipag-interact ng mga adolescents with their peers, mas madalas na silang nagpapalipas or they're spending most of their time outside of their houses. Na nagkaroon ito ng malaking impluensya sa kanilang attitudes, pananalita, interest, appearance, and behavior. Kumbaga, na-adapt nila yung kung anong nakikita nila at naririnig nila. Most adolescents kasi, for example, nalaman nila kapag nakikiuso ka rin, like ginaya mo yung pananamit ng mga popular groups, may chance na mapapasali ka sa group nila. It's the same when the other peer groups are exposed to drugs, alcohol, or sa sigarilyo. Malaki ang chance na gagawin din yun ng isang adolescents regardless sa kung may malibal sa ginagawa nila because they are being influenced sa bagay na yun. But as adolescents progress, yung impluensya ng groups nila is nagsisimula ng humina. May dalawa kasing reasons kung bakit. Una, nagsistart ng maging independent ang mga adolescents like they want to become individuals in their own rights, pati na rin ang makita ang sarili na mag-grow in their own way. Pangalawa naman ay ang kanilang choice of companions. They narrow down their friendships to smaller numbers. Mas nagiging meaningful sa kanila ang personal friendships than those larger social. So, next is the changes in social behavior ng mga adolescents. Of all the changes that takes place in social attitudes and behavior, the most pronounced is in the area of heterosexual relationships. Means that ang mga adolescents ay nagkaka-experience ng changes sa relationships with the opposite sex. Kung noon, bata pa tayo, there's often a dislike or lack of interest in the opposite sex, pero as adolescents mature, mas prefer na nilang maging kasama ang mga opposite sex over sa same-sex peers. As they matured, their social insights improves. Ito yung kakayahang maintindihan at may paliwanag ng ang mga social situations more effectively. So because of this, nagbigay daan ito sa kanila upang mas maayos nilang masuri ang mga miyembro ng opposite sex pati na ang sarili nila. So next naman ay ang new social groupings ng mga adolescents. Yung mga kaibigan o grupo na nabuo dati noong mga bata pa tayo ay nagsisimula ng mabuwag since nagbabago na ang mga interes ng bawat isa and may mga sarili na tayong daan at tinatahak. Ang mga larong nilalaro nila noon ay hindi na sentro ng kanilang social life, which is ito yung mga oras na nakikisaya tayo kasama ang mga kaibigan natin noon kasi ngayon kasi, mas focus na sila sa mga aktibidad na mas angkop sa age nila. Now, dito na papasok ang new social groupings. The most common social groupings during adolescence are in these boxes. Ito yung adolescence in social groupings. First nito ay yung closest friends. So, we can also define them as our best friends. Sila yung mga 2 to 3 close friends ng mga adolescents. They share the same interests and abilities. Pangalawa naman ay ang clique. Usually, they are made up of group of close friends, pero kinaibahan lang niya sa close friends is their members includes both boys and girls. Yung evolution ng clique from same-sex to mixed gender groups ay nagpapakita ng natural na progress sa pagde-develop ng adolescence. Fourth naman ay ang organized groups. This is an adult-directed youth groups na itinayo sa mga paaralan o mga organisasyon ng komunidad para tugunan ang mga pangangailangang sosyal ng mga adolescents na hindi kabilang sa mga cliques or crowds. Maraming kabataan ang sumali sa organization na ito ay madalas na nakakaramdam ng hindi sila malaya at nawawalan sila ng interes sa mga ito pagdating nila sa edad na 16 o 17. Pero it's a natural consequences of the changing social dynamics, evolving interests, and increasing desire for autonomy that characterize this developmental stage. And fifth naman ay ang gangs. It says that gangs ay ang mga adolescents na hindi kabilang sa cliques or sa crowds, and sila yung hindi nakakakuha ng kasiyahan sa mga organized groups. Ang members ng gangs are usually same-sex. Sabi din dito na ang kanilang main interest ay ang pag-compensate for peer rejection gamit ang antisocial behavior. But ang social rejection is one of the factors among many that contribute to gang involvement. Next is the new values and selection of friends ng mga adolescents. Noong mga bata pa tayo, madali sa atin ang makahanap ng kaibigan. Pero dito kasi, as we reach the adolescence, hindi lang tayo sa aspeto ng kasiyahan na mimili ng kakaibiganin. Ngayon kasi, naghahanap ng kaibigan ng isang adolescents na parehas ang kanilang interes, na may intindihan sila at nandun din yung feeling na secured sila. At doon sa tao na masasabi nila yung mga hinaing nila na hindi nila nasasabi sa teachers nila o sa parents nila. To young adolescents, para sa kanila kapag famous, mas masarami ang magiging kaibigan mo. But as they grow older, hindi na sa dami ng kaibigan mo ang hinahanap mo. Ang hinahanap mo na dito ay yung kung anong uri ng kaibigan mo ang gusto mong maging kaibigan. Next naman is the new values in social acceptance ng mga adolescents. Kung kanina may mga values tayo concerning our friends, ngayon naman may mga values naman tayo na concern kung acceptable or unacceptable ba yung mga members ng mga different peer groups. Walang isang trait o characteristic pattern of behavior will guarantee such acceptance during adolescence. Instead, acceptance depends upon a constellation of traits and behavior patterns, all of which make adolescents fun to be with and add to the prestige of clique or crowds which they are identified. Ito ang the acceptance syndrome. Similarly, wala ring isang trait o behavior pattern na alienates the adolescents or nagiging unique yung adolescents from their peers. Instead, there is a grouping of traits that makes others dislike and reject them. Ito yung tawag sa alienation syndrome. So, sa madaling salita, ang acceptance syndrome is siya yung positive thinking or positive traits and behavior ng isang tao na which makes them likable and popular among their peers. Ang alienation syndrome naman is ito yung negative traits o behaviors ng isang tao which makes them disliked and rejected by their peers. So we have these conditions contributing under the acceptance syndrome. First, a favorable first impression as a result of an attractive appearance, poise, and cheerfulness. Dito papasok yung first impression last. A reputation of a good sport and one who is fun to be with, appearance that conforms to that of peers, social behavior characterized by cooperativeness, responsibility, resourcefulness, interest in others, tact, and good manners. Maturity, especially in terms of emotional control and willingness to conform to rules and regulations. A personality traits that contribute to good social adjustments such as truthfulness, sincerity, unselfishness, and extroversion. A socio-economic socioeconomic status that is equal to or slightly above that of the other groups members and a good relationship with family members. Last, the geographic proximity to the group which permits frequent contacts and participation in group activities. Next naman is the conditions contributing alienation syndrome. First, an unfavorable first impression as a result of an unattractive appearance or an aloof, self-centered attitude. A reputation as a poor sport, appearance that does not conform to group standards of physical attractiveness or grooming. A social behavior characterized by showing off, teasing and bullying others, bossiness, uncooperativeness, and lack of tact. Lack of maturity, especially in the areas of emotional control, poise, self-confidence, and tact. Personality traits that irritate others, such as selfishness, stubbornness, resentfulness, nervousness, and irritability. A socioeconomic status below that of the group, and poor relationships with family members. Last is the geographic isolation from the peer group or inability to participate in group activities due to family responsibilities or a part-time job. Next is the new values and selection of leaders ng mga adolescents. So, adolescence is the period marked by a growing sense of self-awareness, social exploration, and formation of unique identities. This dynamic period also sees a shift in the values and expectations surrounding leadership within peer groups. No, while nung childhood tayo, yung mga childhood leadership natin might have been based on simple factors lang like physical strength or popularity, adolescent leadership takes on more nuanced and complex form. So, sa period ng adolescence kasi, mas tinitake nila seriously yung salitang leaderships. And because of this, they feel that leaders of their peer groups represent them in the eyes of society. So, therefore, gusto nila magkaroon ng isang leader na mayroong superior ability na who will be admired and respected by the others, who in turn will reflect favorably on them. So next is the some adolescents' interest. There is no such thing as a universal adolescence interest in the American culture today. Bakit? Kasi ang interest ng isang adolescents ay nai-impluwensyahan ng maraming factors. Example, their sex, in their intelligence, the environment in which they live, the opportunities they have had for developing interests, what their peers are interested in, their status in the social group, their innate abilities, the interests of their families, and many other factors. Kasi as adolescents progress, many of the interests that were carried from our childhood is humihina or nagbabago, and they are being replaced by more mature interests. Also, there are greater responsibilities older adolescents are expected to assume and the consequent decrease in time to spend as they wish. Many adolescents are forced to limit the range of their interests. This is especially through recreational interests. Furthermore, with experience kasi, most adolescents acquire a different and more mature sense of values. This is reflected in a shift in emphasis on different interests. Underneath some adolescents' interest, nandoon si recreational interest. Sabi niya, as adolescents get older, we tend to move away from activities that requires a lot of physical energy. Kasi nung mga bata tayo, hindi na tayo tulad ng mga bata pa tayo na lagi tayo naglalaro. We tend to move a lot. We require a lot of physical energy because ngayong mga adolescents na tayo, may mga factors kasi na which affect the active recreation ng isang tao, such as yung mga responsibilities na ata sa atin. Kunyari, mga schoolworks, social commitments, or yung natural shifts ng mga interest natin. Instead of active play, adolescents start enjoying activities where they are more passive observers or participants. This could include things like watching movies, listening to music, reading, or attending sporting events. So next, we have some recreational interests of adolescents. Una dito is games and sports. So, as the adolescents get older, we tend to find themselves less interested in playing organized sports like team games. Mas na-enjoy nila yung nanonood lang sila ng sports kaysa sila yung naglalaro. And at the same time, mas na-enjoy nila yung games or they become more drawn to games that challenges their minds like card games, chess, and where they need to think strategically. Yung iba nga naglalaro pa ng Sudoku, puzzles, and stuff. So next is relaxing. So as adolescents gets more mature, mas nagugustuhan natin yung mag-spend time with our friends na lang. Kasi nga, mas nadadagdagan yung responsibilities na kailangan nating harapin na atas sa atin. So, relaxing is one of the interests na gustong-gusto ng mga adolescents. Like just hanging out and chatting, exchanging jokes with our friends, and we often enjoy eating together while talking, share jokes. As they get older, some adolescents kasi might start experimenting in smoking, drinking, or using drugs. But this is not something everyone does naman din. So next ng relaxing is we have traveling. So traveling is one of the most interest ng mga adolescents since in this period, mas prone na tayo sa stress dahil sa dami ng mga gawain, sa dami ng mga responsibilities. So, as adolescents really enjoys traveling, especially during vacation, we often want to explore new things and go farther away from home. If our families have the means, or if they can stay in youth hostels, traveling become more accessible for them. So next naman is the hobbies. So hobbies is for those adolescents who don't have a lot of friends or who felt left out. They often find comfort in hobbies. These activities are usually done alone, which can be a good thing for someone na mahiyain and awkward in social situations. Lots of teenagers learn practical skills through their hobbies. Girls might enjoy sewing or making clothes, while boys might like fixing things like radios, bikes, or cars. Next naman is dancing. Although maliit lang ang interest ng mga boys in dancing, but they like girls, so it is one of the most tips sa mga boys na who try to become a good dancers because it is an important part of dating. So next is reading. Adolescents are busy kasi, busy tao ang mga adolescents, so they don't have a lot of time to read for fun. So they often choose magazines over books because they're shorter and easier to read. And as they get older, they might find comic books and comic strips less interesting and start reading newspapers more often. Next is the movies. Going to movies is a big deal for adolescents, especially when they're hanging out with their friends. It's also a popular thing to do on dates. Girls often prefer romantic movies with love stories, while boys might lean towards action movies with adventure and excitement. So next is radio and records. So adolescents like listening to radio, especially when they're studying or doing something by themselves. They usually prefer music, especially popular music. They also enjoy listening to music on records katulad ng mga albums ni Taylor Swift, ni Sabrina Carpenters, and etc. Next is the television. As the adolescents gets older, they watch less TV. They become more picky about what they watch and might find a lot of shows boring or not very good. Na-realize din nila na watching TV is taking up their time na pwede namang gamitin for studying and reading. So next naman is the last, which is the daydream. Adolescents often daydream, especially when they're feeling bored or feeling lonely. In their daydreams, they often imagine themselves as heroes who are admired by their friends and classmates for their accomplishments. Sa generation natin ngayon, mas kilala ang daydream sa tawag na mga delulu. Tayo mga tao ngayon na mga delulu. They're using delulus or daydreams to escape reality since nagiging stressful na talaga ang nangyayari ngayon sa reality natin because of our pile-ups of responsibilities. And it is our way to feel good about ourselves kahit konting minuto lang na makahinga tayo ng maluwag. So next is the social interest. Ang social interest ng mga adolescents ay nakadepend partly on what opportunities adolescents have to develop such interest and partly on how popular they are with members of the peer group. So kung ang isang adolescents ay exposed to different activities and experiences, it will profoundly impact their interests. For example, if an adolescent who grows up in a family that travels extensively, they might develop a passion for exploring different cultures and languages, driven by the first-hand experiences they have. Ganun yung impact ng social interest sa adolescents. So here we have 7 common social interests of adolescents. And ang una dito is the parties. So the interest of parties for adolescents, this is the time when they start becoming more socially active and concerned with their peer relationship. It says here that girls generally seem to enjoy these social events even more than boys, which could be linked to social or developmental differences. Girls may be more focused on social interactions and peer acceptance at this age, while boys might still be less involved in such activities or less interest in the social dynamics of mixed gender gatherings. So next naman is drinking, the interest of adolescents in drinking. This is the trend where drinking alcohol, particularly at social events like dates or parties, become more common as adolescents get older. This increase in popularity can be attributed to a variety of factors such as peer pressure, curiosity, or the desire to fit in with the social group. Drinking might also be seen as a way to appear more mature or gain acceptance with certain peer circles. If we have drinking, of course, involved na din dito yung drugs. So, this indicates the drug use. While hindi naman siya masyadong widespread across sa adolescent, it is still often associated with certain social groups, cliques, and party environments, particularly starting in early adolescence. Etong behavior na to is typically driven sa kagustuhan na maka-fit in or to be accepted by peers, as drug use may be perceived as a social norm within certain groups. Adolescents might experiment with drugs not necessarily out of a desire for addiction, pero it can seen as the things to do in their social setting, essentially a form of peer conformity. While many adolescents may try drugs, only a small number end up becoming addicts kasi alam nilang yung word na limitation sa sarili nila. Yung iba kasi masyadong ini-enjoy yung paggamit ng drugs, hindi na nasosobrahan na sila. Next naman is the conversations. This is the most common social interest ng adolescents. Adolescents find comfort and security in gathering with friends or peers to talk about their interests, concerns, or things that bother them. This process ng pag-share, it allows them to release emotional tensions or blow off steams, which can be vital coping mechanism during this stage of life since we are very prone in stress, where emotional and social challenges often arises. So next naman is helping others. So this highlights how many young adolescents initially express a genuine desire to assist people they perceive as misunderstood, mistreated, or oppressed. Kasi adolescents, as they become more mature, mas nagiging open yung mind nila sa ganitong mga situations. This reflects their growing empathy and moral development as they start becoming aware of social injustice and feel motivated to make a difference. Ang adolescents kasi at this age are often idealistic, with a strong sense of fairness and desire to be agents of change. So next naman is the world affairs. So as the adolescents open their minds of what's happening, kung ano yung nangyayari sa paligid nila, they develop an interest in broader societal issues such as the government, the politics, and global events. It is largely due to exposure through school and the mass media. Sa stage na to, they start to become more aware of the world beyond their immediate surroundings and are influenced by what they learn in school courses, as well as what they see or hear in the media. For example, to us, is yung subject ni Sir, which is the contemporary world. It opens our mind kung ano ba talaga yung nangyayari sa mundo natin. So last is the criticism and reform. It describes how a young adolescents, especially girls, often become more critical of the people and institutions around them, including their parents, peers, and the schools and communities. During kasi this stage, adolescence is starting to form their identities and values na. So it leads them to challenge the status quo and seek changes that align with their emerging sense of fairness, justice, and independence. Pero it's it suggests na these criticisms are typically more destructive than constructive. Kasi adolescents may point out the flaws or express dissatisfaction, pero their ideas for reform are often impractical and poorly thought out. This may be because they lack the life experiences since hindi pa naman sila ganun ka experience sa mga ganong bagay or the perspective to fully understand the complexities of the issues they are critiquing. So, balik naman tayo sa mga interest ng adolescents. Una dito is the personal interest. It says na during adolescence, the strongest focus young people have is on themselves, sa sarili nila. This self-interest is driven by the growing awareness that their social acceptance is largely shaped by how they appear to others and how they are judged by their peer group. Adolescents kasi ay nagsistart na to understand that their peer groups often evaluate them based on a variety of external factors including physical appearance, material possessions, independence, and affiliations with certain social or school groups. So, these factors serves as status symbols, which nagtutulong sa kanila para ma-determine yung social standing nila. So, under ni personal interest, nandun si interest in appearance. So, it says here na yung significant na physical appearance is sa adolescence is not just in terms of clothing, but also in personal adornment, kung paano natin i-groom ang sarili natin, and having attractive or socially appropriate physical features. This concern with appearance become a dominant personal interest because of its profound impact on various aspects of life. Kasi nga, our appearance or our physical appearance is our weapon sa pang-araw-araw na ginagawa natin sa buhay. So next, under the interest in appearance, we have the interest in clothes. In this part, it describes how crucial clothing is for adolescents' social lives. Kasi nga, in their personal and social adjustments are heavily influenced by the attitudes of their peers. Adolescents feel a strong need to conform to what is socially accepted or trendy in terms of dress. Siyempre, makikiuso din ang mga adolescents for them to feel fit in or for them to feel acceptable. So, clothing in this sense act as a social signal showing that an adolescent is in tune with the group's norms and trends. Adolescents therefore see dressing in a certain way as a means to secure social acceptance and maintain their place within their peer group. After the interest and achievements, now we have after the interest in clothes, now we have the interest in achievements. So, achievements during adolescence kasi are crucial because they contribute to personal growth, confidence, social acceptance, and the development of essential life skills, encouraging the adolescents to pursue their goals and helping them navigate both success and failures prepares them for adulthood and lifelong learning. So next is the interest in independence. So as the adolescents mature, mas lumalakas yung kagustuhan natin for independence. So the desire for independence in adolescence is natural lamang, and it is essential part of the development. While it can lead to clashes with the parents and authority figures, understanding and supporting their journey can foster healthier relationship and help adolescents navigate their path toward adulthood. By gradually relaxing control and promoting autonomy, adults can guide adolescents through this critical phase with less friction and more mutual respect. Kanina, it's about the independence. Ngayon naman it is the interest in money ng mga adolescents. As they go to the road of independence, kasama niyan ay ang pera. So money gives adolescents a sense of control over their lives. When they have their own funds, they can make choices about how to spend their time and resources rather than relying solely on their parents. And with this, mas nasisecure yung path ng mga adolescents towards the adulthood since they are being practicing na about the understanding ng money management and of course the consequences of financial decisions since they are growing na independently. So, next is the educational interest ng mga young adolescents. It says here na yung mga young adolescents daw, they often voice out their dissatisfaction with various aspects of school life such as their homeworks, required courses, pati yung cafeteria food, and the overall school environment. Adolescents may become critical of teachers and their teaching styles, viewing them as out of touch and overly strict. Pero this criticism can be a way to express their growing independence and questioning authority. While many young adolescents kasi expresses dissatisfaction with school, underlying the complaints is often a complex interplay of social dynamics, parental expectation, and their evolving identities. As they transition into older adolescents, their motivations may shift, leading to a greater appreciation for education when aligned with their vocational goals. There are factors that influencing adolescents' attitudes toward education. Una dito is the peers' attitudes, whether they are college-oriented or work-oriented. Sunod is yung parental attitudes, whether the parents consider education a stepping stone to upward social mobility or only a necessity because it is required by law. Third is about sa grades. Kasi nag-i-indicate ito ng academic success or failure. The relevance or practical value of various courses. Attitudes toward teachers, administrators, and academic and disciplinary policies. Success in extracurricular activities. Degrees of social acceptance among classmates. So, that will be all in my report. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Joel Sultan and this is the continuation of the adolescent's interest. So let's move on to the vocational interest. So vocational interest, adolescents begin to think about their future careers, interests, and what type of work or profession they might want to pursue, no? So ito na yung na-influence ka ng sarili mong talents or hobby, no? And exposure to different professions. For example is merong isang teenager, no? And then he or she enjoys fixing bikes and his friends with mechanical repairs, no? So dyan na nag-start siya na mag-think na paglaki niya he or she want to become an engineer or mechanics in the future. Next is religious interest. So religious interest, contrary to popular opinion, no? Adolescents of today are interested in religion and feel that it plays an important role in their lives, no? So ito na yung mga kabataan na dito nagsisimula mag-explore or magtanong patungkol sa kanilang paniniwala sa kanilang relihiyon, no? So yun. So next is three pattern of change and religious interest. So first is period of religious awakening. So this one, no, when the adolescents is prepared to join the church of their parents, so the interest in religion is heightened, no. As a result of this increased interest, they may either become extremely enthusiastic, no, about religion, even to the point where they think they want to devote their lives to it, no, or they may grow skeptical of the religious beliefs they accept unquestioningly during childhood. In short, no, that adolescents become more interested in learning about their religion or spirituality. Next is period of religious doubt. So in this one, so ito naman is that adolescents may start questioning their beliefs or feel uncertain about the religious values they've been raised with, no. So halimbawa, no, is may isang binatilyo, no, na pinalaki sa isang mahigpit na religious na pamilya. So nagsisimula na siyang magduda sa mga aral na yung kinalakihan niya. So kaya inisip niya kung kung tugma ba ang mga ito sa kanyang sariling pananaw. So ganun. Next is the periods of religious reconstruction. So after adapting or exploring other perspective, no, some adolescents rebuild or strengthen their belief system based on their personal experience and reflections. For instance is isang binatilyo or dalaga, no, na matapos siyang mag-explore ng iba't ibang spiritual idea, and then nag-decide siyang bumalik sa kanyang mga ugat na religious. Ngunit siya ay mas may personal na pag-unawa sa kanyang pananampalataya. Next is the interest in status symbols. Refers to the strong desire to acquire or associate with items, behaviors, or affiliations that represent social power, popularity, or acceptance among peers, no. So ito ay yung mga kabataan na madalas na naghahanap ng mga simbolo ng estado, no, upang mapataas ang kanilang tiwala sa sarili, makisama o magtatag ng pagkakilanlan sa loob ng isang grupo o ng lipunan. Halimbawa is isang teenager, no, na nagpupumilit bilhan or bumili ng iPhone, hindi dahil sa yung sira or luma ang kanyang phone, kundi dahil yung mga kaibigan niya ay lahat naka-iPhone, kumbaga. So sa feeling niya is hindi siya belong or accepted dahil hindi siya belong or accepted sa kanyang circle of friends, no, dahil hindi siya naka-iPhone. So kaya nagpupumilit siya magkaroon ng iPhone para sa feeling niya ay siya belong or accepted siya sa kanyang circle of friends, no. So ganun yung interest in status symbols. Next is change in morality during adolescence. So ito siya, no, is change in morality, no, is during adolescence is one of the important development tasked adolescents. Most master is learning what the group expects of them, and then being willing to mold their behavior to conform to these expectations without the constant guidance, supervised guidance, no, supervision, proddings, and threats of punishment they experience as children. Next is the three changes in morality during adolescence. First is change in moral concepts. So in this change, no, that adolescents begin to understand that morality is not just about following rules, no, but also about intention and the context of situation. They start they start thinking more deeply about right and wrong. Halimbawa, no, is a 14-year-old boy, no, and then He used to think lying was always bad, but now he realized that sometimes people lie to protect other feelings, no? So ganun. Second is building a moral code. So in this change, no, when they reach adolescence, children will no longer accept an unquestioning, no, way a normal code handed down to no, to them by parents, teachers, or even their contemporaries. I mean, they now want to develop their own personal set of values and principles which guide which guide their decisions and actions. So these values come from family, culture, education, and personal experience. So halimbawa is isang binatilyo, no? And then he decides values honestly and respect above all, no? So in this value, guide how he interacts with friends and family. Third is inner control of behavior. So sa inner control behavior naman, because parents and teachers, no, cannot observe adolescents as closely as they did when they were children. So that's adolescents must now, no, assume responsibility for control over their own behavior. They really more own their inner sense of right and wrong rather than external rules or authority figures to guide their behavior, no. For example is a girl is choose not to cheat on a test, hindi dahil sa siya ay mahuli, no, but because she believes in doing things honestly. So ganun. Next is the sex interest and sex behavior during adolescence. So during adolescence, individual experience significant physical, emotional, and social change, which often lead to increased interest in sexual activities and relationships. So this period is marked by the exploration of sexual identity, attraction, and desire, as well as the development of sexual behaviors. So that's why ang mga kabataan ay maaring makisali sa mga activities like dating or discussion about sexual, no, na madalas na impluwensyahan ng pressure mula sa mga kaibigan, no, or media, and personal values. Next is development of heterosexuality. So the first developmental task, no, relating to sex adolescence most master is forming new and more mature relationships with members of the opposite sex. So they begin to explore these feelings through relationships or crushes. Next, new patterns of heterosexuality. So these are the telescoping of stage in heterosexual behavior and greater permissiveness, no. So adolescents begin forming new patterns in how they interact with the opposite sex. This could involve dating, flirting, or understanding romantic attraction in new ways, no. For example is a 17 years old girl, no, and then she starts dating for the first time, and then, no, is natuto siya na kung paano pamahalaan ang kanyang feelings, no, and expectations in a romantic relationship. Next is new attitudes towards sexual behavior. So this is marked as change in sexual behavior are, no, change in sexual attitudes are even more pronounced. So sa panahon ngayon, no, ay yung may mga ibang kabataan ay karaniwang may bukas na pananaw patungkol sa sexual na pag-ugali. For example is a group of tens, no? Then they discuss about the yung yung kahalagahan ng pahintulot, no, sa mga relation na nagpapakita ng pagbabago tungo sa mas responsible and regarding sa sexual behavior, no. Next is the 5 common reasons for dating during adolescence. So first is recreation. So many adolescents date simple for fun and enjoyment, no? It is a way to have exciting experience, explore new activities, and spend enjoyable time with someone. Halimbawa nito is yung nagde-date sila, no, para manood ng sine or pumunta sa amusement park para mag-enjoy. So, ganun yung recreation. Second is socialization. So, dating helps adolescents learn how to interact with others, no, especially in romantic context. It is a way to develop communication skills, no, understand the relationship dynamics, and build confidence in social settings. Third is status. So dating can elevate an adolescent's social status or make them feel more accepted by their peers, no? Accepted by their peers. So having a boyfriend or girlfriend might be seen as a sign of popularity or maturity. For example is when a teenager, no, na maaring makipag-date siya sa isang sikat sa eskwelahan to gain more social recognition among their peers. Fourth is courtship. So some adolescents date with the intention of exploring more serious or long-term relationships, sometimes with a view toward finding meaningful connection, no? For example is isang magkasintahan na nagde-date sila dahil interesado talaga sila sa isa't isa at gusto nilang palalimin, no, ang kanilang emosyonal na ugnayan. And lastly is the mate selection. So although we're in adolescence, no, some young people may date to see if a person could be a potential long-term partner for the future. So halimbawa nito is kapag ang isang babae, no, na nakikipag-date siya sa isang lalaki dahil yung lalaki ay nakitaan niya ng potential at feel niya is maganda yung future na kalalabasan, no, so kaya siya ay nakipag-date sa lalaki na yun. And next is we'll continue by Farhana Dalgan. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Farhana M. Dalgan and today I'll be discussing about common reasons for dating and family relationships during adolescence. First is let's discuss why teenagers date. Like recreation is a big part of it kasi dating is all about having fun, socializing with friends. Para mo naman sa mga boys, importante rin ang may kotse at counting pera kasi sila rin naman ang nagpo-provide sa date. Then there's socialization which helps teens develop social skills and independence kasi as they interact with their peers. Next is status. Like, dating can really boost your popularity, di ba? Kasi the cooler your partner, the higher your status din naman. Yun yung mga kabataan ngayon. About courtship naman is many teens view dating as a step towards serious relationship kasi or even marriage in the future. And for those thinking about getting married after high school, mate selection is key. Ginagamit nila ito para makahanap ng dating, para makahanap ng date, or para makahanap ng someone na compatible or nasa taste nila, or yun yung standard nila. Ganun yung mga kabataan ngayon. Ngayon naman is pag-usapan natin ang attitude towards sex. Many teens feel pressure to become sexually active kasi and some view being a virgin as something negative, di ba? Also, sexual activity is often seen as a sign of maturity, lalo na kung may love involved. Yun yung basihan, kasi minsan yun yung basihan ng mga kabataan ngayon eh, yung sexual activity. Kasi kaya maraming kabataan rin ang nabubuntis dahil dyan sa issue niya. Moving on to sex roles, teens kasi usually expected to follow traditional gender roles, di ba? Boys are encouraged to be more masculine habang ang girls naman is may stricter expectation, which is some girls even switch between traditional and modern roles just to fit in with their friends. Kasi most girls ngayon is, they want more circle of friends. So, kaya paano sila makakaroon ng circle of friends is nag-fit in sila doon sa mga friends na yan. Now let's look at how sex role typing affects teens. Boys might feel superior to girls and show this through leadership and achievements. Next is, what is sex bias? So, sex bias kasi is the tendency to undervalue girls' achievements, like even when those achievements are equal to or greater than boys. Like for instance, if a girl scores high on a test, her accomplishment might not receive the same recognition as a boys. Kasi simple lang, because of these biases. Diba? Karamihan sa mga ngayon is mas pabor sila sa lalaki. So, effects on girls is many girls downplay their achievement to fit in, like to avoid social rejections. For instance, like a girl might excel in math but choose not to share kasi it might, popular. So, sa madaling salita, nagiging dahilan ito para sa mga babae na pinipigilan nila ang kanilang potential because of these biases. Now let's talk about underachievement and adolescence. Like both boys and girls may struggle academically like during this time. This underachievement kasi often stems from childhood where societal norms begin to shape their self-image. Like for instance, girls might lower their academic performance para mag-stick sa traditional roles, while ang boys naman is might rebel against expectations, leading to disengagement. Now, sa fear of success naman, especially in girls, may fear that succeeding academically will hurt their social acceptance. Kasi they might think that if they do well in school, they won't be seen as attractive or likable by boys. This fear can create a cycle of underachievement. Like, that's hard to break. Ito ang nagiging way or nagiging dahilan ng takot ng mga babae na magtagumpay. So, on the other hand, how do boys view success? Like, for most boys kasi madalas, ang success is kinu-considered as key part of ng kanilang masculinity. However, when boys do fear success, it's usually due to past failures that have damaged their self-confidence. Like for instance, a boy who struggled in sports may avoid trying out for the team. Kasi, pag try out again sa team nila is dahil sa takot na siyang mag-fail. Kaya parang ayaw na niya or wala na siyang balak mag-try out again. So let's shift to family relationships. Kasi there's often a generation gap. Like many teens feels like their parents don't understand them. Frictions between parents and teens are common, especially between ages and 18. But this relationship kasi is usually to improve as teens grow older. Dito naman is, as teens mature kasi nagiging mas maganda ang understanding ng parents at kids. Kasi this leads to improved relationships and more freedom para sa teens. Common causes of family friction is standard of behavior. Teens often think their parents' rules are old-fashioned, nagre-rebelde sila sa mga disciplinary methods na tingin nila ay unfair. Like relationships with siblings can also create tension, and some teens feel frustrated about their family's financial situation. So, sa standard of behavior naman is like adolescents often see their parents' rules as a old-fashioned, which makes them frustrated. Like for instance, a teenager might feel that their parents' curfew is too early compared to their friends who stay out later. Ang methods of discipline naman is teens may rebel if they think that their parents are being unfair or too strict, right? Especially if one parent is more authoritative. Ganyan din kami sa bahay. Like for instance, if a mother enforces strict rules while the father is more lenient, like the teenager might feel overwhelmed and act out. And sa relationship with sibling naman is adolescents may feel annoyed kasi with younger siblings and jealous of older ones. Ano ba yan? Very common na yan sa mga magsibling because this can create tension with accusation of favoritisms from parents. Like for instance, a middle child might feel overlooked when parents give more attentions to the youngest siblings' achievements. Common causes of family friction. Feeling victimized. Dito naman is teens may resent their family's financial status and feel they lack what their peers kasi leading to anger and frustration. Like for instance, a teenager might feel upset that they can't afford trendy clothes while their friends wear the latest brands. May mga ganun talaga Kadalasan mga kabataan ngayon. And it's really sad. Second is family size. Family size friction naman tends to be more common in medium-sized families. Larger families may be stricter kasi while smaller ones might be more lenient. Like for instance, in a family with 4 children, then siblings might fight for attention and resources, leading to more conflicts. Yun naman talaga. Next is immature behavior. Well, yan yung pinaka common or may masyado akong maraming kilala ng mga ganyan. And I'm one of them. Like parents often react negatively when teens neglect their responsibilities like schoolwork, which can cause resentment. And for instance, if a teen skips homework, diba, they faces criticism from parents or they might rebel by ignoring chores at home. And sometimes kasi parents they compare their child to another child. Okay, that's one of the reason din kasi. Next is rebellion against relatives. So, teens may show disinterest kasi in family, like gatherings and reject advice from relatives leading to sa conflict. Magkaramihan din kasi sa for example, for me rin kasi minsan kasi iba yung sinasabi ng mga relatives natin or sumasobra sila. And they poison our brain or ginagamitan nila tayo ng mga words na sasakit, gano'n. Like, for example, a teenager might roll their eyes or refuse to participate in family events, causing their parents for their frustration. Ang large-scale problems man is when adolescents have more freedom. They may clash with a family's rule or especially regarding curfews. Like for instance, a teenager might break curfew to hang out with friends causing arguments with their parents about trust or rules. Next is sex differences in family relationships. Well, interestingly, may mga sex differences din sa family relationships like relationships with opposite sex. Family members can be more strained. Like, for instance, for example, moms may be more lenient with their sons than their daughters, and father-daughter relationships can be more like particularly tricky. Personality changes during adolescence. Ngayon, pag-usapan na naman natin personality changes, which is teens often try to shape their personalities based on what their peers expect. Like, they might feel inadequate if they can't meet those expectations. So, learning to accept themselves is really important para mas maganda yung relationships. Ang hazards of adolescence naman is when we look at the hazards of adolescence. Mas madalas na psychological challenges ang lumalabas kaysa physical ones. Like, the pressure to overachieve can lead to negative feelings from peers. Now, to sum it up, adolescents face many challenges related to dating, sex roles, and family dynamics. As they navigate these relationships, nagbabago ang lahat sa paglipas ng panahon. Like, the main takeaway is that social dynamics and family relationships plays a huge role in their development as they figure out who they are.